Yo, what's good? We're back again with another entry. I'm gonna start calling these videos entries. It's not a podcast, it's not a episode, it's just a journal entry, a video journal. So I'm just call it an entry. So it's a Friday today. Doing recording. It's currently like 9:05 in the morning. Yeah, we're just gonna go through this week, what we did, do a little reflection. Monday. Yeah, so it's my second week of working at a bar out in central London. Slowly getting a hang of that. It's very humbling, especially knowing that I came from corporate and then back to a hospitality role, and then now I'm serving people who are in corporate, which is funny. I'm like, yeah, that was me on the other side not too long ago. But it is what it is. I have a calling, I have a vision, and when it comes down to that, sometimes this is the type of shit you gotta do. When you have a calling, then you gotta move mountains to get to where you need to be. And this is me chipping away on that mountain that I have to move. But yeah, so yeah, I've been sending out emails to established fashion companies to land an intern role or an assistant role if possible. But right now, I'm sort of changing up my strategy and thinking maybe I should just apply for intern roles within product development for at least 3 months to gauge the position and also to build up my resume. Because I think for me, the only thing that I'm missing within my resume to really land an assistant role within an established fashion house, company, brand is working within an established fashion brand and then within a team, where it's structured. Because most of my fashion experience are startups, small teams, independent work, client work. Although the cause collaboration, that was structured, but that was like 6 months. So, and it wasn't like every day full-time thing, it was like once a week or even twice a week, touching base, virtual call, or through office visit. But never have I, well, to be fair, when people reading my CV, they won't know that it wasn't an everyday, oh, it wasn't, yeah, everyday thing, blah, blah, blah. But, you get away with what you can because at the end of the day, the skill is there. But for me, for just the sake of like my own mind, I think landing an intern role and then just being able to experience a structured space and then working in a team, especially in an established fashion house brand, then that would be a good thing to have in my CV, so that then I could bounce off that and land an assistant role. Because the whole idea is I want I want to swap the bar job that I'm working now for an assistant role within fashion and then build my way up, you know. And the reason why I want to build my way up is because I know building pioneers of greatness, Galinachi, and any of my entrepreneurial ventures will take time. Although I've already say put in 4 years for Galinachi, but now that I'm sort of putting that in the back burner and then having pioneers of greatness at the forefront, and that's what something I want to focus on, then I have to basically start on paper. I have to start from scratch, but obviously I have had that 4 years of experience on how to tackle pioneers of greatness moving forward. But also I have real life responsibilities of, like I've always mentioned, financial debt, taking responsibility for that. So I have these things to tackle first before I could really, you know, hone in on building pioneers of greatness. But that's the good thing during this time, this period of sort of finding and navigating my way. It gives me time to really think, you know, and strategize how I want to move, how to build, how I would like to build my story. Because at the end of the day, I'm in control of where I want to go. I may not be in control of what opportunities come my way, but I am in control of my actions, and that directly correlates with the opportunities that I attract. So I'm pretty much approaching it in that lens. But yeah, this week I did get a reply back from Roksanda. So it's a women's wear brand. But for that's why that it was their email that made me sort of change my approach, because they were only looking for taking interns, and usually the interns they take are still in university, so it's not paid. Well, to be fair, I think most fashion internships aren't paid, which is, you know, it's a bit bullshit, because I come from architecture, and architecture, if you have an internship or placement, whatever, it's paid. But it is what it is. For me, I'm not doing it for the money at the moment. That's why I have the bar job to sustain what I'm trying to do right now. But yeah, they replied. It's a women's wear brand. They've been around for a couple of years. I think maybe even a decade. They got cool women's wear stuff, which I really like, and it really aligns with the stuff I already design and like. And yeah, they were open to a part-time internship. So I was like, "Oh, that's actually a good shot," because I'm already shadowing at Robert Jesse once a week. And what I was thinking was I could intern for 2 days at an established fashion company, so that in total I'll have 3 days of interning. And that will be in two different places. So one at established fashion company, focusing on more of the sort of, what do you call it, business oriented sort of experiences, especially because I'm trying to land product development, garment tech, and those roles require you to do tech packs, do all like fit checks, measurements, yada yada yada. Very sort of corporate, non-design roles, and job duties and tasks that aligns more on the business side, you know. So it would be good to experience that within an established company and then be able to, you know, see how things work at that scale. And obviously, I got Robert Jesse, which is an independent fashion designer, and that's very more hands-on. So I'm working with cutting patterns, making prototypes, sewing samples, helping with the ready-to-wear products and whatnot. So it's basically working on different skill sets. So for me, I kind of see this as my master's in fashion, this period of my career, because obviously I didn't graduate from a fashion school, graduated from an architecture school, which is still good because architecture taught me about design principles as a whole and how to approach design. And I think architecture is the highest form and the most elitist form of design, way above fashion, way above anything else design, at least from my perspective. But yeah, I think that that's my approach. Intern at two different places for 3 months, and then from there, after that all pans out, I would just continue to shadow at Robert Jesse, because for me, I still want to really improve on my craftsmanship, and at Robert Jesse, that's what I'm doing, you know. And I really get lost in the tasks that I'm set. Literally 6 hours would fly like that, and before I know it, I'm like, oh shit, I need to go. It's done. The day is done, and I learned so much working there and shadowing. That's why for me, I'll do that in indefinitely until I feel that okay, cool. Now I'm ready, you know, like I'm cool. But then at the same time, once I sort of get my first paycheck from my bar job, I'm going to start getting tools for pattern making and drafting and whatnot, so that I can start prototyping for Pioneers of Greatness, especially the denim jacket. I mean, I've got samples already, but they are on, what do you call it? Existing Levi denim jacket, you know? But I want to create my own pattern, which I already have. All I have to do is have a calico fabric and then draft the pattern and then, you know, cut and sew. But I'm just waiting for my first paycheck from my bar job in order to do that. And I just can't wait to get the ball rolling again with Pioneers of Greatness, because I haven't really been doing anything with it apart from like thinking a lot about it and strategizing. But yeah, no, it's everything slowly. When you think your vision is clear, it becomes even more clearer by the day, by the week, by the month, and you sort of just you're constantly pivoting and solving problems, you know. And I'm really documenting it in real life. And each week you get to see how I'm sort of pivoting slightly in order to, you know, find my way, get to the end goal. But yeah, I was saying to my partner that I gave myself a timeline, or yeah, deadline. So if I can't land anything by end of July, I think then I'll be more open on applying outside of fashion, whether it be back in architecture or graphic design or just design. But for me, it'll be the best move to work within an established fashion brand, because then I'll be learning on the job, and because I want to build a fashion brand anyways, as my long-term vision. So to me, that's what makes sense. But we'll see with what manifests in real life. And also, yeah, no, yesterday I was shadowing at Robert Jesse, and I got to sew a hoodie from scratch. So the week before, I pattern cut the hoodie and actually also helped draft the pattern. And the cool thing is, it's for Samuel Ross. And if I can remember, when I quit architecture back in 2020, I remember like posting an IG story saying, "Oh, I'm getting ready to do up my portfolio so I can work with Samuel Ross." And I tagged him, and then he saw the IG story. And throughout the years, I've been trying to send my application and land a role at a Cold Wall or his studio SRA, but no luck. But it's just funny how life works, where I end up working on a project for Samuel Ross, but under Robert Jesse, under the guidance of Robert Jesse. And yeah, that's just kind of like a funny thing. Like, Samuel Ross doesn't know that I have made a hoodie for him, or helped create this hoodie for him. It was like a sample hoodie. Even though like I've been trying to like work with him over the past couple of years. But it's just a funny thing. Like, you just don't know how things will manifest in real life. And these are like one of those things that I sort of witnessed. There's many times that things manifested in a way that's still aligned with what I originally wanted, but it just wasn't the way how I envisioned it. So you have to be always open to opportunities and how they sort of manifest themselves in real life. But yeah, I think that was like a cool thing. And yeah, I got to use a serger for the first time, and that's like sort of to lock off like the raw edges on a fabric, and it's also a way for you to combine two seams together to have a nice clean finish. So I was doing that yesterday. So yeah, it took me maybe 7 hours to do up the hoodie. Obviously, I've made a jumper before, but that was like back in uni. So that was like what, 2017, and I haven't made a garment from scratch ever since. Well, I made a prototype of a polo tee. Was it back in 2023 or 2024? But obviously, sewing isn't something that I practice frequently for me to like remember how to, put things together. But obviously, under the guidance of Robert Jesse, I was able to do up a hoodie. But yeah, no, I actually really enjoy creating. That's why I was like, is there a job? Like, I was thinking in my mind, is there a job that's like this? I know there is. It'll be called a seamster, or yeah, seamster. But then at the same time, I'm like, it's cool sewing and all, But then I might end up getting bored if that's just the only thing I do. So then that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, maybe what I want as a fashion role or a job is something that I'm wearing multiple hats. And in order to do that, it would be a small team that I work for. So an established fashion brand, but it's a small team. So then I'm able to wear multiple hats. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because at the end of the day, for me, that's not like the main objective. My main objective is to land a fashion paying role so that I can substitute the bar job that I currently have so that I can learn on the job. Because obviously the bar job is cool and all, like it's very flexible to be fair. Like I get to choose my days if needs be. But obviously the only hindrance to that is pay, like in terms of career progression, I don't really want to progress to a assistant manager role within a hospitality space. Like for me, it's just a buffer. Like I want a easy job, like this bar job, and a flexible job to just sustain me at this in this moment of my career where I'm trying to break in and land in an established fashion company. But yeah, just navigate. These are the things that people don't share, man. Like people on their come up, they don't share this shit, man. Like who wants to say that they work in a bar job and then this and that, especially if you just came from architecture and then you already worked at the in corporate within the architecture industry, and then you go back to square one. Like no one really wants to be documenting that shit, like shit's grimy out here. Like I have friends that are good friends that are architects right now. I could be an architect by now, but to me, I'm just that person where I don't care, man. I don't care what's going around me, what's this person's doing, where this person's at. I only care about my where I am and where I'm heading. And I don't care about the speed. I only care about the direction. If my direction is correct, then that's cool, man. I don't care how long it will take. It's a battle of attrition, chipping away bit by bit towards my destination. And that's all that matters to me. And before I know it, to be honest, all of this, all of this will be just in hindsight, like like how I see architecture, like how I see my A levels, my GCSEs. Like during those times, I thought that was just my world, like, oh man, like this is just it. But then as you progress through life, things move quick. So just enjoy the moment. And that's what I'm doing, I'm just soaking in everything, especially everything sort of new ish. So I'm just excited to see how things unfold and just document the whole thing, man. I don't care how grimy it gets, how deep in the trenches we get. Like I want to keep it as raw as possible so that someone out there who's, let's say, maybe confused about their journey, they can stumble upon my shit and they'll be like, oh shit, you don't just go from 0 to 100, there's that middle point where it's like it feels so messy and just nothing's working. But then when you stick around long enough to see the results, boom. And it's only a matter of time that I find success in what I'm doing and really build a business that's self-sustaining and pushing the vision that I have in mind. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up what I have in mind for this week and what I've done this week. But yeah, man, you already know I'm gonna keep chipping away, keep documenting, and we're just gonna keep showing up, man. Like, you can't stop this, man. I'm out. Peace.